I finally reached that magic number 1500 elo in chess. And I want to share a couple of things that really helped me reach that goal, and hopefully it can help you reach 1500 elo as well. There's a few different things. I believe that my obsession with the game has really helped me. I play every day. I think about chess in my sleep. I think about chess when I'm at school. I think about chess all the time. So I spend a lot of time thinking about how I can be better, what openings I should potentially be trying, how I could have done something better. And I think this obsession with chess has really itched me to become a better player. Secondly, you need to know a few openings. You don't need to know all of them, but you need at least 2 for black, 2 for white. And you need to become very good with them. But with that said, openings aren't everything. You need to know the basic principles just in case you get caught up in something that you've never seen before, or maybe you just forget what to play in a position. And if that's the case, you just follow the principles, which is just taking control of the center, developing your pieces, and then getting your king safe. And then you just play chess. You just play a game of chess. You got your pieces developed, your king safe. Now you just got to outplay the person on the other side. Thirdly, tactics. We need to be doing puzzles. This is something that I neglected all the way up until around 1200 to 1300 elo. As soon as I started doing tactics, I see them on the board all the time. So do your puzzles. And lastly, hire a coach if you can. If you can't hire a coach, then I highly recommend that you really figure out how to analyze your games. Having somebody really point out your issues, such as a coach, and how you can fix them will skyrocket your elo. There's nothing better. And with that said, let us take a look at a 1500 gameplay. So in this position, I start off with the white pieces. I play e4. They play the Scandinavian. This is all mainline, so up until move 5 is just book moves. And I play this move, bishop d3, which has a clear idea behind it, which is just I want you to take and I just recapture. If not, then I'm just gonna trade you off. So he slides out because he wants to keep everything on the board and attacks my knight. Now my knight is pinned. I kick him away because remember the chess opening principles that I was just talking about? He moved the bishop. 1, 2, 3. So he's moved that bishop 3 times. He's got his queen out, which typically you don't want to do, but this is a Scandinavian. This is all mainline stuff. So he's moved the bishop 3 times and has a queen out versus my 2 knights and a bishop. Plus I'm also controlling this. So I just develop the other bishop, which lines up with the queen, which is why you don't really want to have the queen out in the opening because now it's a target. So he moves the queen all the way back to the starting square. So now you see he only has 1 piece active. Now I target that piece. It's his only active piece. And he goes back. So he's moved the bishop 4 times and I traded off. So I was trading off his only active piece and he takes, that does open up this file, but I'm unafraid. Now I develop my queen and I am getting ready to castle long. He goes like this, opening up the bishop. All is good. I castle. And he just attacks this, which is not, it's an empty threat. He moves back and I jump to the center. Now, the reason why this is an inaccuracy, I didn't go here, winning a tempo on the queen. So he's now trying to finish his development, and I have a clear idea of this move, which can be stopped very simply. So this was not really great, but when you're 1500, you don't play perfect. You still make inaccuracies and such. But the idea behind this is that this sees that, essentially. And he blunders here because this is just a free pawn. So he saw the threat and ignored that I can just take that pawn. So I take the pawn with the tempo on the rook. So he moves, and now I bring the rook to the center, and he attacks my knight with the king. And I give him a check, recognizing that this will be pinned to the king. So now we're seeing myself utilize these pins. And he moves over, and now I just come here. I'm attacking the bishop, and the king's in the center. I have 2 rooks and a queen here staring. This knight's here. It does not look very pleasant for him. The computer says it's +6, and I'm only up a pawn. Bishop back, and now I'm threatening this. So he protects it using the knight, and now I'm trying to break through. So I recognized that if I can open up the center, his king's in a lot of trouble. So he takes. This looks like a fork, but this pawn is pinned. So I can just take with check. So I do. Now he goes there, and I get this out of the way. And he attacks the knight, and I just go back. Because by moving this square, or moving the pawn forward, he created this weak square. If I had a pawn anchoring in this knight, it could never be taken easily. Now I'm attacking this, and he takes the knight. So I take this, takes the pawn, I take that, attacking the queen. Now I give a check, winning a bishop. So now I'm up a piece. Attacks. And we just go on. I get 2 rooks to the 7th rank. If you can do that. I have him restricted, so I just took up all of his space. I give him a check because I wanted him to be restricted over here. So he goes here. What he should have done was taken. He should have sacked his rook, which does not seem like the obvious move. But so he goes to the corner, I give a check, and this is where tactics come in. So from this position, I realized that if I give him a check, he's going to go here. I'm going to give him another check, and he's going to go here, and then my queen's going to come in. And now this square is now covered by my knight. So his only move is going to be to block with the queen. So from this position, I went knight here, check. I knew he wasn't just going to sack the rook, or maybe he would have, but then that's just more material. So I give a check, he goes here, it's forced. And I delivered checkmate. And chess.com thought that we played as a 1750 in this, and my opponent has a 1400. So I played well above my elo. We had 0 blunders, and this is another thing that I think is super important when you're trying to improve. You can't stop all the blunders. You're still going to blunder. If you can just minimize the blunders as much as possible, you're gonna do well. And the other thing, if you look at the times, he's down to 12 seconds. I'm down to 27. Both of us actually used all of our time. And that's something that a lot of you 1,000 rated players will do, is hop into a 10-minute game and then you guys will play 30 moves in 3 minutes. You need to actually utilize your time and think, because if you just play a rapid game as a blitz game, you're not going to play as accurate as you should be. And if you want to become better, you need to prioritize improvement. So let's recap. Become obsessed with chess. Play it as much as possible. Learn as much as possible. 2, learn opening theory for a few openings only, and then just play those. You'll learn more openings as you get stronger. 3, do not neglect tactics. Tactics win games. As you've seen in this game, sure, it wasn't perfect, but that mate sequence at the end, it was a good find. And 4th, just stick to chess principles. So develop your pieces, try to control the center, and your king needs to be safe. As you saw in this game, the king was in the center of the board, and I pried it open. And that was basically what lost him the game, because I was able to open up the position and get at his king. Now, another thing that I would like to add, you need to be thinking about what your opponent wants to do. If we're in a position like this, what do I want here? Well, my knight's very annoying here. Him not wanting me to have that knight here is kind of respectable. But you have to get rid of the knight in a good manner. You can't just go pawn f6 just because it attacks the knight. Because where is that knight going to move when you attack it? Well, in this case, it just takes the pawn for free with a tempo. So before moving, you need to think, where's that piece going to go? So think about all the captures, think about all the checks, and think about all the attacks in the position. Happy grinding. I'll see you at 1500 elo.